former Mamelodi Sundowns player Daniel MAMBUSH has came into the defense of Peter Shalulile after a lot of people criticized Peter Shalulile, saying Peter Shalulile couldn't score easy goal and is fallen out of favor. He should just step down at Mamelodi Sundowns and so forth. And I also think that that was a little bit harsh for the man who has done a lot for Mamelodi Sundowns in this short space of time. So MAMBUSH came to his aid and said, no, guys, things shouldn't be that way. You shouldn't say such things to this man considering what he has done. But before we get into the video details, guys, if you are not yet subscribed, what are you waiting for? Because to subscribe, it is free. To like the video, it is free. To comment, it is free. And also, I give you a subscribe because I give you exclusive content. Now, let's jump right into it. He was speaking to the Sowetan Live, and MAMBUSH has got this to say. It happens in football where you find that a star player is out of form, but it doesn't necessarily mean he is suddenly a bad player or there is a crisis. If you are a striker, sometimes you go through pitches where you goals dry up. But my advice to him is that he mustn't try too hard. He must continue doing the same thing he has been doing at training. He must continue doing the same things he has been doing during matches, and the processes he has been following during his spare time when he is resting. He must make the same runs, chase the ball the same way he has been doing, and give the same effort at training and during matches. I know he is one chance away from returning to his scoring form. I remember with me at one stage I went about 7 or 8 games without scoring. I asked the late coach Jeff Butler to put me on the bench against Pretoria City, which is SuperSport United now. He was furious with me that I didn't want to start the match, and shouted at me in the dressing room in front of everyone because he felt I can't handle the pressure, and I didn't want to take responsibility. Senior players like Harris Sharp and Harold Jazz Quinn, he names them, encouraged me to go on and play. As it turns out, Pretoria City scored first after a first mistake from the goalkeeper Mark Anderson, and frustrated fans stormed to the field. But when we resumed, I went on to score 5 goals against Danish Baktawa, and that turns things around for me and the team as a whole. It is going to be a tough for one, but Sundowns have been playing at this level for a number of years, and I hope they will find the back of the net in the same game. We know how this North African team always try to manipulate game situation. They dive even at the slightest touch. They are shouting. They are always trying to confuse and intimidate referees. Most of these teams worry about Sundowns because we are par with them. No more when Al Ahly used to win by big margins. Personally, this is my opinion. Peter Shalulile is still the best player. I'm not a Sundowns supporter, but I can tell you, if ever there's a player that I don't have a problem with in the Sundowns camp, it is Peter Shalulile. Peter Shalulile, he can be quiet in the entire game. He's a man that you don't want to forget, because the moment you forget about him, that's where he's going to punish you. He is like a player in the field. He's like, you can't forget Ronaldo. Regardless of his age, you can't forget that man. He's going to punish you. You know, he's like a lot of players in this PSL. There are some players in the PSL. You cannot afford to forget them. You cannot afford to forget Kama Billiard because it's going to punish you. You know what I'm saying? So for me, Peter Shalulile is one of those players that you cannot forget that player. You can't just do away with that player. You can't. So to Mamelodi Sundowns, my message would be patient. Things like that happen, but it doesn't mean that the player is bad. You know, everybody goes through a rough path, but it doesn't mean that they are evil. It doesn't mean that they are bad people. So please, guys, bear with him. Be patient. You know, and thank you. Until the next video, guys. Take care.